r/ask Reddit. What's something you happily do that others would think is the grossest thing ever? I know picking your nose is one people do find disgusting, but it is just satisfying getting that freaking booger or itch. Jesus, when you pull one of those staghorns out that's solid and taken the form of your entire sinus cavity, you know, the one that feels like it's tugging on the back of your eyeball as you try to dig it all out in a single chunk. Yep, that's the shit. I had like 3 broken ribs once. I wasn't able to blow my nose or snort back a loogie for quite a while as a result without extreme pain. I remember having the feeling like something was lodged in my nose. I finally just toughed it out and repeatedly blew my nose as hard as I could. Something the size of a small acorn dislodged from my nasal cavity. It was so huge, it didn't come out all the way. I had to reach up and grab it and forcibly pull it out of my nose. So gross, but so satisfying. Everyone picks their nose. It's what you do with the booger that decides what kind of person you are. What kind of person does it make you if you wipe it on the cat? My brother totally wiped a booger on our cat. The cat started purring. Both my brother and our cat were weird. I eat the whole kiwi. The whole kiwi. Even the beak? Especially the beak. I thought I was the only one. Unlike other fruits, I find the skin gives it a perfect tautness and crunch. Skinned kiwis are fine, but I'll go to town on some hairy gorilla nuts. I mean, I upvoted anyway, but why would you call them that? Do people really call them that? Call them what? Pulls ape hair out of mouth. If someone is having issues trying to get their contacts out, I'll do it for them. I used to work for an optician teaching people how to get them in and out, so it's normal for me. Other friends freak the duck out at the thought of going near someone's eyeball. I would freak out being near somebody else's eye, but I've worn contacts since I was 11. And I have no qualms digging around my eye to get them out, especially if it's one that is creating an inferno due to a speck of dust or something. I am an aspiring medical student and have spent hundreds of hours in cadaver dissection labs through various opportunities: class, work, assistant teaching. I basically do the work of taking a donor's body graciously donated for the good of educating future health professionals and removing skin, fat, and connective tissue so that the donor can be a useful teaching tool. I've been compared to a human butcher by colleges outside of my field, but I'm proud of the work I do. Being a good prosector/dissector is truly an art and takes a lot of time and patience to do it well. The human body is fascinating as anatomical anomalies happen more often than you would expect, and being able to present the body and its variation in the best way possible is something I strive for. I also understand that it is definitely not for everyone, as the idea of removing tissue from deceased humans can be quite unsettling. It's just shock factor, as you say. My cousin is in med school at the moment and recently had a go on his first cadaver. He had a wobble, but he managed and explained that once he started recognizing things on the body from his books and stuff, the feelings went away, like he could look at it calmly through a professional lens. Wait until the end of the year. Our cadavers were fixed with preservatives, but by the end of anatomy class they were rank and all sorts of nasty fluids were pooling in various areas. It gets legit gross. Anytime I cook something Asian with fish sauce in it, I usually drink a few drops of it. Just sprinkle the bottle above my mouth after I've put it in the dish. I think it tastes good by itself. However, an old roommate saw me do this and he thought it was repulsive. Just so you know, drinking too much fish sauce can kill you. In Belgium there was a student who died from drinking too much fish sauce during a fraternity initiation. I'm not planning on drinking a whole bottle. If I see someone is peeling from a sunburn, it takes every ounce of my being to not beg them to let me do it for them. I love grabbing that little piece of skin and then just pulling it to see how big a piece I can remove before it breaks. I discovered something interesting about my youngest daughter. I did the baby feet treatment, and when the skin just started to peel, she said, "Daddy, I want to help." And for 3 days I had to take a foot bath when I came home so she could peel the skin from my feet. She just turned 8. My ex is Lebanese and she never got sunburned. In contrast, I am white as the winter snow and burn pretty easily. She loved to expedite the peeling process when I got burned. And she also loved to pop pimples on me. She also had nice skin that never pimpled. Sometimes I think she only liked me for my body. Getting to read this comment while it's only 2 hours old is what it must have been like to see the Twin Towers fall. Like, right now it's the worst thing that's ever happened to me, but in 15 years, I'll secretly be proud to say that I was there when it all went down. If this comment doesn't become eternal Reddit lore, then duck Reddit. I clean up trauma crime scenes and homes belonging to hoarders. Objectively, it is gross and horrific. Subjectively, I find it fascinating and satisfying. And at the end of the day, I know I've helped someone get through some of the most stressful, traumatic, and saddening time of their lives. People like you are unsung heroes. My mom and dad had to clean my brother's room up after he put an SKS round through his head. Small town. No one else to do it. I was a teen and didn't have it in me to help. But even if it was just me, I would have torched the place and left town. You are right. Usually it's one of the worst moments in someone's life. Not having to deal with that probably would have helped my mom and dad out in the long run. I like to eat limes, sometimes lemons, like some others might eat an orange. I always get weird looks from other people, but if you find a good lime, they are so tasty. My husband got drunk on Nye and ate an onion like an apple. 0/10. You should stick to limes. Rimming. Catching lizards stuck inside. I think that's mainly a Florida problem, but a lot of people think they're gross. I have never minded picking them up and bringing them outside. People think those little guys are gross. I'd much rather deal with lizards than bugs, lol. I like to drink Taco Bell mild sauce packets or pickle juice whenever I'm drunk. All my friends hate it. Pickle juice and being drunk goes hand in hand. It'll touch anything that's gross because there is this thing called washing your hands you can do afterwards. Yep, smell lingers though. Ever tried getting the shit out of your hands when the TP breaks during a wipe? Just wash harder. Be careful with that. The dermis is not waterproof or airproof. Many chemicals can permeate the dermis and infect your bloodstream even if it does not cause damage to the dermis. There is a reason people use latex and nitrile gloves. I've been hospitalized for contact with materials through my protective equipment that resulted in filings of metal lodging in the pores of my skin and causing extreme infections matched with rust poisoning. Even seemingly mundane materials like fecal matter, printer ink or bleach can quickly permeate and infect the bloodstream through capillaries. Peeing in the shower. I tease all pipes. Scratch my throat. Like, I make this weird sound and it scratches my throat and feels awesome. My dad can do it too. Never met anyone else that can do it though. I know exactly what you're talking about and I can do it too. Woke up in the middle of the night to my dog retching getting ready to throw up. Instant reaction was to cup my hands under her mouth. She throws up in my hands. I carry it to the bathroom. Wash up and return to my bed feeling pretty damn good about not having to change all the sheets and stuff at 3 AM. Fixing people's laptop computers. I wash my hands a lot. Eat expired food. My dad always taught me best before and use by was bullshit. Anything bad enough to harm you will be visible. Best by and expired by are just friendly recommendations. Except it's fresh meat. There you should take this advice really damn serious. Wear something out of a laundry bag that hasn't been touched for months. You might need to see a doctor for your depression. My psychiatrist is working on it. Let me pop your pimples. I've discovered my wife's Reddit account. Clean fish. I love breaking down fish. Knife skills galore up in here. Summer camp. Going down a calm river in a raft. Stop halfway for lunch. Sausage or fish? Fish you have to clean. I was the only one who chose fish. Had a whole rainbow trout to myself. Pedicures. I worked in a nail salon for about 5 years, and when I mentioned that the bulk of what I did was pedicures, everyone I've ever told goes, "Oh, I could never do that." But, to me, my favorite ones were often the grossest. The elderly. Often, elderly women can't take care of their feet. And so without a trip to the doctors from time to time they can get massively neglected. These women were the most appreciative of my work, and less scrutinizing. Working in the beauty profession has incredibly particular clients, but they also usually tip fairly well, but that was just a bonus. To me, the little old ladies who were just happy to have someone take care of their feet for them made me happier than any $5 tip could. Smell my figures after scratching my balls. Everyone loves their own brand. Yesterday I admitted that I shower every other day and people thought that I was disgusting, but I had to tell everybody that it is not healthy to shower every day. I used to eat peanuts whole, shell and all. When a doctor found out, he told me to knock it off. I still get tempted. After taking a shit, every time I wipe, I look at the shit, fold the tissue and wipe again. In 8th grade, my health science teacher told us a story of how one of his uncles was taking a shit and passed out. They couldn't tell why he passed out till they checked the toilet. It was full of blood. Apparently the guy strained too much and ruptured his butthole. So now, I check my shit to make sure I am not bleeding and to make sure my stomach isn't bleeding either. It happens. Also leads to less toilet paper usage. I thought looking and folding was totally normal. How can people wipe and not look? How do they know if they're clean? Thoroughly horrified. If I get a tonsil stone, I have this urge to hold it and smell it for a while before throwing it away. What the duck is a tonsil stone and why does it smell? Snorting the congealed blood out of my nose after one of my rampant nosebleeds and exclaiming for all to hear, oh no, my brains. Eating the skin around my fingernails. I dig the texture. Cuddle with mice and rats. If they're wild rats and mice, I don't know where those duckers have been. If they're pet rats and mice, those things are ducking cute. I don't have an issue with a hair in my food. I just pick it out then eat the food. My wife thinks I'm disgusting. I love picking at other people's nails and toenails, pushing the cuticles and making ducked up boy toes look good. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.